Welcome to a tutorial called Get It. Get It is a unique tool that is a formative assessment like some of the other tools that we've presented to you, but it does allow the student to periodically check in to let you know what he or she understands. And you'll see what I mean about that in a minute. So the student gets to, throughout the class period, say what he or she knows anonymously. And you as the teacher have the ability to check in anytime you want. And it can also be used as a nice formative assessment tool. So let's get started. In order to get access, there is the website, letsgetit.com, although Get It is actually the name of the app. It's free. Teachers need to get their own account. Students need to either get their own account if they're going to participate in class on a computer. If they're going to participate on a mobile device, then there's an app that they need to get, which is right here. So in this lesson, on the left here, my computer screen is going to be the teacher's view, and the phone is going to be the student's view. So I'm going to click on Get Started, and I'm saying that I'm a teacher. So I have already created my account, but you will create your account by putting your email address in and your password, and then hit Create Account. I'm going to go down here since I already have an account, and I'm going to log in. So I can create a class, and I can create a lesson. So once I have a class, I can create a new lesson, or if this is a brand new class, I'm going to start right here. So I'm going to call this class Test Class 2 and hit Create Class. So here's my Test Class 2. I have the ability to either set up students' accounts by entering everybody's name and email address, or what's actually easier is if you just allow students to self-enroll, again, either on the computer, like I just did, or on their mobile device using the app. So I'm going to create a new lesson. As you see, I don't have any students in the class yet. But this is an important piece for the students. I'm just clicking on this little silhouette of a person. This comes up with a 6-digit number. This is the number for this particular class and this particular lesson. Okay, so I'm going to close that out for right now. We'll get back to that in a second. So start teaching, if I already had this developed, would be what I would click on, but I don't have anything developed yet. So what you have the ability to do is put a topic out. It could be a sentence, it could be a couple of words, and periodically throughout the lesson, you can check in with all of your students to see whether or not they get it and what level of competence do they feel that they're at. So let's create something. I'm going to call this, I'm teaching personal finance, so I'm going to call this time value of money. This is one of the important topics that we're covering, and periodically throughout this class period I want to see whether or not they understand what that is. So I'm going to create another one. And maybe it is, let's see, risk tolerance. Create another one. Time horizon. So these are 3 topics that I have. And whenever I can do them in any order I want, I can pull them up in any order I want to try to determine whether our students have actually gotten that particular subject or not, and to what degree do they understand it. You'll see that in a second. So now I'm going to prepare a question. Oftentimes students will think they know something, but they don't quite know it as well as they really think they do. And so you want to have the ability to check into this as well. So I can prepare a question. So let's say I want to really test from a formative assessment point of view whether or not they know what they think they know about time value of money. So I'll click on prepare a question, and I'll say something like, if I have $10,000 today, I can get 8% on my money for 10 years. What table do I need to use to get the value? So this would tell me if the student answered it correctly that they may understand this particular piece as to which one of the 4 tables do you choose in order to determine the answer to this question. If the question needed a particular image, I can add a picture from either the internet, or I can get it off of my computer or a flash drive or wherever I have stuff stored. I don't need that in this case. I have the ability to do a poll. I can do a short answer, or I can do a multiple choice, which is what I'm going to do in this particular case. So I'm going to say present value of lump sum, present value of annuity, future value of lump sum, future value of annuity. So if, in this case, there is a correct answer, if there is a correct answer, you have to identify what it is, and then the computer will automatically score it for you. So I save the question. So as you see here, I have 3 topics, and I have 1 question. I can prepare additional questions. I can prepare additional topics. For right now, I'm going to stop. I have the ability to edit if I've changed my mind on any of these or if I found a spelling mistake. So at this point, I'm going to go back to this area here and click on this little silhouette of a person to reveal this number. I have to give this number to my students, and again, the students have the ability to access it either on a computer or they can do it from the mobile device. I'm going to do it from the mobile device. So right now I'm touching on this get it, and they have some different ways. They can say that they want to sign up, which is what they'll have to do at the beginning. They can sign up with their Google account if they want to do that, or they can create using any email that they'd like to use. They can sign up there. I've already done this, so I'm going to be moving down to this area here that says I have a username and password, and I'm going to be putting that in. This is another personal account for me that I used so that I could have a different account between myself as the student and myself as the teacher. So I've logged in. It says you're ready to go. Okay, so the student, this is Bob's student, this is my name. I now have to get into the class. So what I need to do is I need to go into this spot right here where it says class code, and I need to type in the 796641 and then say join. Typed it wrong. 796641. So it says you're ready to go, Bob student. We're just waiting for one of your teachers to start the lesson. Okay. So I click on start teaching. We see that we have Bob student over here. Bob student has the ability to ask a question, and you'll see that in a second when I show it on the phone. And then there would be, this would change so that I know that Bob student has a specific question. The student list would continue to show up here. All of your students would be listed. you now can pick the topic. I can pick these topics in any order, but let's say we're in the middle of doing some activity, or we've had some lecture for a particular period of time, and we just want to check student understanding at this point. So we can throw this particular topic out there. I can say start. And so now we can see that on the student's device, we've thrown out the topic time value of money. So the students, all they have to do is tap on that symbol, and they get this bar graph that they can fill out. So this is how confident are you? So it's whatever this topic is, the student has to think about what they've just been exposed to, what readings they may have done, anything that they did in class, whatever the activity was, any of the lecture, and they have to decide, well, how well do I know this stuff? So they can identify by just touching on any of these blocks. So if they touch on this first one, that's I don't understand it, I think I get it, I'm okay with this, I got this, easy, I could teach my friend. They can also add a comment there if they'd like. So let's say in my case, as a student, I'm going to say I got this. And they could say, pretty easy. And say done. Okay. So assuming that everybody has identified that particular thing, everybody's voted, if you will, I would now have the list of all the students. They're all voted. I have ended that particular activity. So I continue to discuss things. So I may want to go over and see, well, how's Bob doing? Okay. So he's finished that particular topic. And I can have the ability of seeing what other ones he's done if I've listed more than one of these. Okay. So let's say I'm going to move on to another topic. So I'm going to start the risk tolerance topic. Oh, I forgot to tell you one thing. Once I, as the student, click on whichever way I feel about this particular thing, I got to go up here and hit check in. So in other words, I have to release that information. That's actually what I was looking for over here. Now notice that Bob's student, it's colored green, and this will happen automatically. The colors go from red to yellow to green to blue. If I would have picked that area 5, or yeah, this stuff is easy, I can absolutely teach this stuff, the student color would have been blue. If I said, man, I don't get this at all, it would have been red. And so it's kind of like a traffic light, if you will. Okay, you're looking for green and blue as opposed to red and yellow. Okay, so in that particular case, Bob says he's got it. So at this particular point, we have a new item here, and that is risk tolerance. So again, I'm going to tap on, as the student, I just tapped on that circle icon with the bars here, and how confident are you with risk tolerance. Let's say I'm gonna go with this middle one here, and I'm not going to add anything this time. So once again, I have to go up here and hit check in, and so you can see that's what the student sees for what they've done so far. I'm going to finish that. And I'm going to go over here to time horizon. Again, I can do these in any order. I could pop the question up earlier, but I'm going to go through all of these and just show you from some differences. Again, as a student, I'm going to tap on that circle. And let's say I'm going to say, yeah, this is no problem at all. And again, go up and hit check in. Okay, again, notice the color. There's the blue. Okay, so if I wanted to go back and see where we are, oh, I have to finish. But I now can check any one of these items as it relates to Bob. So the time horizon is the topic there. The risk tolerance. Okay, so we got all that. So at this particular point, I want to try one more thing and show it out here. I'm going to ask this question. So here the students gets the question on their device. If I have $10,000 today and can get 8% on my money for 10 years, what table do I need to use to get the value? And then the student will click on the ask question and they will get the choices, and then they will identify one of those. Well, as you know, if you remember when I built the test, this is the correct answer. But let's say maybe I pick something else. Present value of annuity. And I've now put my answer in. I guess I answered future value of annuity. So here's the question again. Here's what I said as the student, and here's what it is. So here's where this can be important. I go in and I want to check the results for Bob's student. I can see that, well, wait a minute, when it goes down here to time value of money, the topic down here on the bottom, can't see. If you remember, I said, yeah, I was pretty good at that. Scored it a 4. But if we go up to the top of Bob's student here, where I just got a question wrong related to time value of money. So that would allow me then to maybe go back with some more, or in a one-on-one situation, seek out Bob's student and see if I could offer some additional help. So at this point, once you're done with this, I can say end lesson. Are you sure you want to end the lesson? And there's a number of different things that I can do. I can literally share this. So if I have a colleague who's teaching the same class and maybe we kind of split duties, maybe he or she will create a lesson for week 1, I'll create a lesson for week 2. I have the ability to share it. And as you can see, an important thing here is no student details or student data will be shared. So I'm just going to go back to this spot because I want to show you one last thing, and that is if you go over to the right here where your lesson is and you click on this little bar chart, this bar chart gives you some analytics. So I can see, I can get the breakdown of the whole class, different questions and things that they've answered. Okay, so here's, this is the 5, or yeah, I really know this. This is very easy. This is, I know it pretty well. This is, I think I know it. And if we had more scores, again, there would be the yellow and the red. Okay, as you can see here, here's your key. So the blue is the person gave it a 5, they gave it a 4, they gave it a 3, they gave it a 2, they gave it a 1. And this is breakdown and over time because you have the ability to do a number of these topics more than once. Challenge students. If there were some students that did really poorly in a particular subject, okay, with this we have one student here, Bob, but he's also happens to be the whole class, but you could actually pull out these results for each individual student just by clicking on their name over here. And now all these results, they're going to look the same because there's only one student in the class. But if I had a student that I thought had some issues based on some of the responses during the lesson, I could go pull the analytics for that specific student. So this was there any questions that the student had? The fact that the student got this particular one wrong, and it may help me, this is how they thought that they were going to do, or they thought they understood the material, and then how they actually did. I just think that's pretty powerful, a great way to allow students to kind of share with you along the way so you can make some corrections right away, and a nice formative assessment tool because you can put those questions in there. That's it. Hope you enjoy.